One of the most comfortable rackets on our website with one of the lowest flex ratings and weighing in over 300 grams. This is the Tennis Warehouse racket review of the ProKennex Black Ace 315. Advanced players looking for loads of feel will find it here. With a stiffness rating in the mid-50s, this 100 square inch frame features a 16x19 string pattern along with FlexLogic for pocketing and ProKennex iconic Kinetic System to help with harsh vibrations and ensure this racket is one of the most friendly options on the market. The 330 plus swing weight will allow players to redirect pace and plow through their opponents. Players who prefer a heavier racket and want the most supreme softness at impact will definitely find a good thing in the Black Ace 315. If you guys know what kind of rackets I normally tend to trend towards, the ProKennex Black Ace 315 is a little bit outside of my wheelhouse to say the least. The flex rating is super low and I tend to like very stiff rackets. This was a fun play test for me though, because I'm constantly hearing people say they're looking for an arm-friendly racket that's still gonna provide good plow through. And I think that's what this racket really does shine in. It's not my personal preference on feel. It did feel a bit noodly at times, especially if I was really trying to force the ball. However, if I just kind of let go and let the ball flow, I found easy depth and tons of comfort, obviously. I also would counterbalance that really soft feel with a tighter string, but I think that kind of takes away from the magic of what this racket does have to offer. At net, the feel is amazing. I actually really liked it playing mini tennis games because I could get little angles and carve out some shots that aren't always in my repertoire. A racket that kind of on paper feels similar but is very different is the Wilson Clash Pro 100, which I absolutely loved. But the biggest difference between that racket and this one is that thicker beam on the Clash Pro. So I think a lot of players looking for an arm-friendly option will definitely want to give this one a demo alongside with that Clash Pro, see what you prefer and what works best for you.
I really enjoyed this playtest with ProKennex's update to the Black Ace 315. And like others have mentioned, this is a very comfort, control, and predictable amount of power themed racket for me. I'm not sure if ProKennex prefers to talk about the performance or the comfort. I'm gonna dive into the performance first. That 315 grams and a little bit higher swing weight as opposed to the prior Black Ace 315 definitely is where I was getting most of the power, kind of put away power. It didn't affect anything in terms of my touch around the net or anything like that, but the heft of it did make it a little more of a chore for me to snap my wrist on my serve. I was still getting good pace, but overall just the heft of the racket kept things very stable, but I was not really able to whip through my shots with a ton of racket head speed. And as mentioned by Michelle, swinging without an excessive amount of racket head speed seemed to let things go the way they want to go instead of forcing the issue. And I'm more of a counter puncher player anyway, so this kind of played right into my game. So from the baseline, the spread of the 16-19 pattern gave me the confidence to add spin, aim towards smaller targets on the court, but it didn't really sacrifice anything in terms of the quality of my backhand slice. And then in terms of that comfort, obviously that 56 flex rating, the high swing weight, high static weight as well, all played into a ultra high degree of comfort. That said, it did lack a little bit of power, and if I was gonna change anything about this racket, I would ask for maybe ProKennex to firm up the layup with graphite just a little bit, add a little bit of that extra power that Michelle was talking about that might be missing from the racket, and definitely without sacrificing any of the already high degree of comfort.
Coming into this play test for the Black Ace 315, I really enjoyed most of the specs on this racket. As far as the weight goes, close to 12 ounces. The swing weight kind of right in my wheelhouse, as we say. And as far as comfort goes, that's really the beauty of this racket. I think for, and like the other play testers talked about, someone looking for that player spec, that nice controlled feel, and just a really, really plush, comfortable response. It doesn't get much more comfortable than this. I say, you know, this racket compares to me somewhat to like the Gravity Pro or Gravity Tour, also maybe some of the Prince Phantoms. But what really separates this one is the kind of unique feel, the Kinetic System, the little beads inside the frame. I definitely understand the purpose of them and the technology that helps with some added power and comfort. But for me, it just made it a little too muted. So kind of like what Mark was saying, I would either stiffen up this frame, or I think it would be kind of cool to try one of these without the beads in it, just to see if I could get a little bit more response, a little bit more of that traditional graphite feel. But as far as performance goes, I mean, just great plow through, tons of control. Like Michelle was saying, up at the net is just a beautiful, soft, very, very good touch and feel on the volleys. And then the open string pattern worked really well for me from the baseline and on spin serve. So I felt like I could be really crafty with this racket. Anybody that likes a traditional frame, maybe has some arm issues, definitely try this one. But for me, it was just a tad bit muted. For the review today, we had this racket strung up with Vocal Cyclone 16 gauge at 52 pounds. And for more information on this racket or anything tennis related, be sure to head to Tennis Warehouse, Tennis Warehouse Europe, or Tennis Only.